I tried hard to make you want me, but we're not supposed to be. And the truth will always haunt me, even though it set me free. And my tears flow like the ocean as they floated in the breeze. They were falling in slow motion, and they brought me to my knees. Oh, you're haunting me, taunting me, all in my brain. Turn up the light and now all that remains fills me with doubt, and I'm shouting your name out loud. Why do you wanna put me through the pain? I get the feeling I never escape. I can't hide away from the shame of you. Tears on the ground, tears on my pillow. You won't bring me down, and I'll get over you. And I'll get over you. I'll get over you. I'll get over you.
Nice, Robin. Loving the track. Loving that smooth vibe you got going on. That smooth, deep housey vibe. So any feedback for Robin, go ahead and put that in the chat. Type away what you liked and what you think could be improved about the song. Let's get a music production discussion started around this song. And yes, that is how I type when I'm on my keyboard. I just go like this. It's really awkward. Okay, so overall, I love the vibe. The vocals work so well with this track. The synths that you had in the song worked really well, in unison with the vocals. The arrangement was solid. I think it was a good time, 4 minutes. The only thing I'd say, just a few things I wanted to mention. Okay, you need to work on the first drop. Sounds low. I definitely agree. So, your drops, your choruses aren't necessarily, it's not like a dubstep drop where it's, a huge, impactful, crazy sounds or anything like that, which is fine, but I think it needs to have more impact in general. It kind of just felt like it was running together. The energy levels were the same in the verse as they were the drop, and you want to have a higher energy level in the drop. Again, that's not to say, you want to have like a huge dubstep drop or something like that where it's that impactful, but more energy, I think, is required in there. And I think you could do to improve this is maybe adding in more drums when the drop first comes in. Drums always add more excitement, energy, rhythm to the track. Just some percussion samples, some cymbals, that sort of thing. Some more effects, drum fills. I noticed in the drop right here, it kind of just ran right into each other. I think having maybe a drum fill before, break it up, have like a bar where it's just the vocals playing and nothing else. And then going into the drop, I think that will cue the listener into the drop and make the section more impactful. I would also recommend checking out this tutorial. I will put this in the chat. Let me find it here. Tutorials. Bigger drops. I made a tutorial on how to create bigger drops in your mix. A few small mixing techniques without changing around anything necessarily in your specific sounds, just really on like the pre-master. I think this will help as well. Check that out. I recommend everyone checking that out, as it is really applicable to all types of tracks, not just an electronic track that has a bigger drop. Anything rock music that you're working on works for everything. So definitely check that out. Apricot Droop Fruit, Commander Root, D Brooks, I Am Fox, John Noise, MIDI Crew, New Pointless. Thank you guys so much for joining on in the live stream. Do appreciate it. What else? So yeah, more impactful. Another thing I think we could have done was add more vocal effects. So I know you had some delays on the vocals that were going throughout the song, which were good, but I just think more effects, have pitched down vocals, pitched up vocals, distorted vocals in the background, take a phrase, take a certain words out of the phrase, put it in another channel, put a distorter on it, put an EQ on that, take out some high frequencies, take out some low frequencies, put some reverb, put some delay on that, give your song more depth, just to give more interest. The vocals are so good, and I think you could add more ear candy type sounds that will complement this style, this deep house housey style, to again add more interest, to add a more fully frequencied mix. All right, Christian. Yes, I did forget you. I did type in the chat though. I did type it in the chat though, so I only half forgot you. It was a half forget. Yeah, that's really it. So I mean, it was just really some small things, some small mixing details, and some a little more additions to the track, but again, nothing major. Everything is there and working well together. So you are on the right track there, Robin. Thanks again for joining the stream, for sending on in your track. Kevin James, New Pointless, you are up. Let's get it. Nice, Kevin James. Thank you so much for sending on in the tune. So any feedback for Kevin James, New Point, let's go ahead and put that in the chat. What you liked, what you think can be improved about this 8-bit song. So I love the mix in this track. Definitely, I heard the panning of the different instruments. Sounded a bit wider in the mix. You have the nice mono elements to contrast the wider drum sounds you had, as well as like the panning side-to-side synths that you had in there. So that worked really well. I like that. I don't think that I heard that as much in your other tunes. So yeah, definitely liking the mixing change here. I will say that the it felt like some of like the high mid-range synths that kept popping out were a bit too a bit out of control. They just felt like they were poking out in the mix a little bit. I think a multi-band compressor on maybe the group of your synths could help with this. Again, they just felt like they're popping out a little bit, and it felt a little bit unbalanced compared to the other elements that you had in your track. Also, I think a different kick, you could have used a different kick. I don't know how to describe it, but the kick just seemed like it was strained. It just felt like it was strained, like it was like, I don't know, like saturated a little bit too much and low cut a little bit too much. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it could use more body, is what I'm trying to say. It could use more body in the kick. I know for this style, maybe, you don't necessarily have a huge kick in the song, but I'm just thinking something a little bit more impactful, something that had more body to add to the track would work. Okay, retro kicks are very thin in general. Gotcha. I would just try a thicker kick. It doesn't have to be a huge dubstep kick, but I would definitely try something a little bit thicker. Just a little less thin, that's really all. And see how that sounds. What else? Really, that's it. Another thing I would say, the other thing that I wanted to mention was just, it felt like the theme. I understood the theme, the battle scene, kill or be killed. So I can definitely see this working for the video game. But I felt like some of the instruments, the notes, coming in and out, the specific instruments playing certain notes, coming in and out, it didn't quite make as much sense in the song. I think something more consistent, a more consistent theme in the song, I think would work. Like the sounds that you used and like the title of the track, like the specific timbre of the sounds that you used, them coming together, definitely gave some sort of theme. But I guess how the instruments spoke to each other throughout the entire track didn't necessarily create a consistent theme, if that makes any sense. So I just think having more consistency with just the musical structure, I would say, would help this. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's really the best way I could put it. The musical structure needs to be more consistent to tell the story a bit better. Right, not sure if you can do a total rework though. I mean, it might not have to be a total rework. It just might be. I think it might just be some copy and pasting, some more copy and pasting, some more repetition. I guess that's what it is. I think you need more repetition in your musical structure. That's it. And yeah, that's all the feedback that I have. Excellent job. I love the mix that you have this time. Definitely improved. Just watch out for those high mid frequencies that are poking out a little bit, and you are good to go here. Gotcha. Going for that tense. Yeah, I definitely got that. Yeah, see, like I said, like the instruments coming in and out, the sounds that you use did give that tense, battle scene vibe. So it's not like it didn't. It's just the musical structure, really. Just the musical structure. Coach Val, are you still in the stream here? Let me know. Yes, you are. Buffalo Val, you are up next. Let's do it. And again, guys, let's not forget the free giveaway. 47 concurrent viewers in the live stream, and we'll be doing the free giveaway of the Synth Master Player. 1,800 presets in this synth ready for you to use, ready for you to get for free when we hit 47 concurrent viewers. Invite your friends, tell them about the awesome feedback they can get, tell them about the awesome community, and of course tell them about the awesome synthesizer with 1,800 presets. I can't stress that enough. I've never seen that in a synthesizer before. Tell them that they can win that for free. Coach Val, let's do it.
Our dreams machines. Beyond our dreams. Beyond our dreams.
Nice, Buffalo Val. Any feedback for Buffalo Val, go ahead and put that in the chat, what you liked, what you think can be improved about this ambient track. Overall, love the vibe. Third straight week, we got another ambient track. Really on that ambient grind there, Buffalo Val. Good to see. So, what I think could be improved about this? New Pointless. Yes. Yes. High five. High five, New Pointless. Thank you so much for the donation. Really do appreciate it. All the money that you have sent in, you are the top donator, has gone toward the SoundShock Audio platform. So thank you so much for helping out SoundShock Audio in the community. Really do appreciate it. So, as far as what I liked about the song here, Buffalo Val, I liked all the textures that you have. I think those all work really well. I think you've nailed, picking out specific sounds that work well together for this ambient, spacey vibe that you got going. I will say that the track, to me, the ambient tracks that you've shown seems like they're in between an ambient song and a soundscape. It doesn't necessarily kind of really sound like a song to me. There's no real progression in it. There's no real sections in the song. And it sounds a little bit more like a soundscape. And I think you need to work on developing the different sections of the track. With ambient tracks, the the chorus, the drop. I mean, there is no drop in ambient tracks. The chorus section, the verse section, the intro, they're a little bit more blended together than, let's say, a dubstep track, which has very specific sections that you can hear clearly. But that doesn't mean they're not there. They definitely are in ambient tracks. I would recommend listening to your favorite ambient tracks and listening to the different sections and noting what elements are playing where in the mix and how they are sounding. Write this down on a piece of paper, and when you're working on each section of your ambient track, see if you hit this similar sound type and just sound what the sounds are doing. So I think that would be the best way to go about this, because again, it feels more like a soundscape, which is fine, but if you're trying to make it more of a song, then I think it needs improvement with the sections. I think that's one of the big things about your tracks that I think can be improved. Here comes the ambient drop. That's what I do for every ambient song. I just raise my hands up and I sit silent for dubstep tracks. Okay, what else? The high-end synths that you have, those textures, those pads, those ethereal pads, they need to be EQ'd. They need to be EQ'd and I think lowered in volume. They're too dominating in the mix. The frequencies are poking out in the high range, high mid-range, and it's just too much. So I would recommend first lowering the volume of the entire pad, that ethereal pad, seeing how that sounds, and then possibly doing some multi-band compression, some EQing in the mid, high range, so it doesn't poke out in the mix. And this will also leave room for the other elements in your track that you bring in to shine through, as this does eat up a little bit of headroom as well, and takes away energy from the other instruments in your track. Let's see. Yeah, that's really all I had for the track. Just a few changes with the arrangement, with the structuring of the track, and the mixing. And I think that will really help with the song here. So thank you, Buffalo Val. Do appreciate it. And thank you again, New Pointless, for the Don't Know. Still on top of the supporter list here. Thank you. With $48. Next up, we have, who do we have? Orange Knight, are you still in the stream here? I know you popped back in. Let me know if you're still in here. Mr. Orange Knight. Yes, sweet, you are up next. Here we go. Loving it, Orange Knight. Thanks for sending on in that future housey tune. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So any feedback for Orange Knight, go ahead and put that in the chat, what you liked and what you think could be improved about the song. So I like the vibe you had going. I thought all the elements you had in the track worked for that future house vibe, those plucks, that really funky lead you had that works really well, the bass, the kind of like lead sound. I would say that it definitely needs some mixing and some arrangement work. So definitely New Pointless, I agree. Some of the big reverby effects were a bit muddying the mix and could be EQ'd, as well as the reverb on the leads and percussion was taking away from the impact of the mix. You know, when you're working with a reverb, it really depends with reverb. In electronic tracks, I usually like to have some sort of sidechain reverb. So the sidechain reverb, you put on a reverb on whatever sound you're working with, put it in sidechain mode, and sidechain it to itself. So every time the specific sound that you're working with plays, the audio ducks on the reverb. So you want to create a return send channel, and on this return send channel, you'll want to have the compressor on that channel. So you don't want to have it on the specific sound, because that'll just compress the entire sound. You just want to compress the reverb, so every time the sound plays, the reverb ducks. And when the sound doesn't play, the reverb goes back and you could hear it. The compressor releases its grip and you could hear the reverb. That is a sidechain reverb. That works really well for electronic tracks, especially for percussive elements. Percussive elements provide not only timbre and interest, but the groove and rhythm of the track. And if there's too much reverb on a specific rhythmic element, then that takes away from the groove because it washes it out and makes it less impactful rhythmically. So a sidechain reverb works well for rhythmic elements. That could be from a bass line, a pluck, to of course your drum sounds. So think about that with sidechain reverb. Think about handling that with sidechain reverb. On, you know, like rock tracks or something, like just a live track with all live instruments. Maybe sidechain reverb isn't the answer, as it sounds maybe a little bit unnatural, but with electronic tracks, I think that works pretty well. What else? Could definitely use a sexy female vocal. Vocals could always work well for these types of tracks. Yeah, definitely. What else? I would say I'm going to go ahead and link you some tutorials here that I think are really going to be helpful. I'm going to go ahead and link you to the mixing playlist that I have on SoundShock on the SoundShockAudio YouTube channel. Check it out right here. Overall, the mixing needs to be improved. Just the fundamentals of mixing, compression, EQing, gain staging, all of that needs to be improved. And it's a lot to talk about. But luckily, I've gone through all of these topics that I just mentioned in incredible detail, more detail than I've seen in any YouTube tutorial, or any tutorial for that matter, with very easy to follow along examples. Check out the mixing playlist that I just put in the chat. Everyone check it out. I recommend everyone checking it out, as it is a gold mine of information. Even if you know how to EQ, if you know how to use a compressor, multi-band compressor, etc., you will find something in these tutorials that you do not know. I guarantee it. All right. You're on PS4. I can't save the links. That's too bad. But you can always check out the live stream again on a computer, as the live stream will be active on the Twitch SoundShockAudio channel for the next 2 weeks. So you can go back and view this and see the comments and see the link that I gave. Also, I'm going to be putting this on the SoundShockAudio YouTube channel. All the Twitch live streams that I run, I put on the SoundShockAudio YouTube channel for you to check back and play, and you will be able to see the link there. You won't be able to click on it, but you'll be able to see the link, and you can just type that into your URL. But yeah, you can just definitely go back to, just go to the SoundShockAudio YouTube channel. There you go, SoundShockAudio. Just type that into YouTube, and you'll see the mixing tutorials there. That way you don't have to remember too much or go back to wherever or remember what time it was at. So there you go. Yeah, just some overall mixing I think would work. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for sending on in the track. Do appreciate it there, Orange Knight. And we are moving on up the list here. Phantom Freak, you are up. Got a brand new one. Good to see a brand new one. All right, all right, all right. Fan of Freak, yes. Loving it, man. Loving the change in drum patterns in the track. Loving the just overall G house, bass house vibe that you have for this. Love the rhythm of the bass line, the notes that you chose to use in that. That worked really well. So any feedback for Fan of Freak, go and put that in the chat, what you liked, what you think could be improved about the song. Let's see here. So I do have a few things of feedback that I want to go over about this song. So I'll get right into them. Let's see what I have here. The kick, the low end in the track sounded good. I'm listening on my monitors. I don't know, again, I don't know why I never did this. I've been doing the live stream for like almost 2 years, and I would always listen on headphones, and I had monitors, and all I had to do was just mute my mic when the song plays. Anyways, the point is, I heard it on my monitor, so I could have a better representation of the low end, and it sounded good, it sounded solid. The kick was muted, like, it was like high cut throughout the entire track. It was like more of a pillowy kick. I know that's probably what you're going for, but I couldn't hear it at certain times. I could feel the low end from the sub and the kick, but I couldn't hear the kick at times. And I think you definitely want to hear the kick. So I just think more high end in your kick. Yeah, that's just really what I was feeling. Another thing, the synth, the kind of... Let me just play it. That synth. I don't think it fit in the song. It just, I don't know, it just didn't seem to, I don't know, it just didn't seem to fit. I think you could have chose a different sound. The other synth that you had in there, the more squirrely sound, I guess I would describe it. Let me just play that. Yeah, that sound. I thought that fit. I don't know how to describe it. It just didn't. It just made the song seem. It just didn't fit. I remember when I was doing a lot of interviews with producers. I interviewed someone who I forget his name. He worked with Monster Cat a lot. He would release a lot of songs on Monster Cat, and he says, sound selection is one of the most important parts of music production. If you have one sound in your song that doesn't belong, it changes the audience's perception on the entire song. At least for me, that sound did. It didn't make the song sound as good. I don't know. I'm just being honest. That's just my opinion though. Maybe you really like that sound and you want to roll with it. More power to you. Again, this is just my opinion. So take it with a grain of salt. But I think it could be changed. Johnny Hardcore, I am doing good. I hope you are too, Johnny Hardcore. What else? Mike Azar, thanks for joining. Do appreciate it. 2 weeks in a row here. Good to see you back on in here. What else? Okay, that synth. The background synth that you had going here. The one in the background, I like that. That worked really well. I think though it could have played different notes. I think it could have kind of had a melody, maybe like play 3 different notes. Just experiment with that, see if that works. Have that sustain maybe even longer. Yeah, that's just kind of what I was feeling. I was like humming to myself that background synth, playing different notes, and it seemed to be okay. Just something worth trying. I mean, could easily do that in a minute or two, so it wouldn't take too much time to see if that works. I think that could improve it. Maybe even have it sustained for that first drop, and then in a later drop, then add different notes to that as well to give it more sense of a progression through the song. What else? at 326. That I don't know what you're doing with the pluck. It's like you're adding more like side information. It gets a little bit louder. That just kind of throws off the dynamics of the mix. I would just take out any of that spatial effects that you're doing with that, and just work with like the reverb and like delay effects. Maybe it just sounded awkward in the mix, in my opinion. What else? 346. Definitely need something else in that section. I know you said you're still working on it. Yeah, definitely need something else, because it feels like it just needs more energy. It's not quite as impactful as like, this section with you have all the sounds playing, and then you have like the rolling bass line and stuff, and it sounds a little bit flatter. I'm not sure what you could add there. What would be something good? Maybe some sort of like melody playing, some funky synth. I don't know. What do you guys think could be added into this section? Anyone in the chat right now, let me know what you think could be added in this section right here. Ready, right
Night
here.
Rider. Night Rider.
Yeah, what do you think could be added in that section? Definitely a gated siren could sound cool there. We'll see. We have about 6 in the queue, Johnny Hardcore, so hopefully we'll be able to get to it today. Okay, nice. I'd pull the bass back, maybe. What else would you add to that section as well? I'm trying to think of what sounds, and nothing is coming to my mind immediately, but definitely experiment with different sounds. A phasered lead stab could work as well. Good point, Buffalo Val. More vocals. More vocal one-shots. I think I mentioned this before. I think you should add more vocal one-shots to your productions. Just something really small, more detail sound. I think that would really help. Yeah. That would really help. Also, I think you could layer your pluck a little bit. Layer the pluck a little bit. Have a higher end synth playing on that when it gets to the later sections in the track. That way, again, more sense of progression in the song. Yeah. That's a pretty common technique, I would say, not just for like bass house, G house, but for a lot of different genres. I know when I'm working on future bass songs, I'll add in a higher layer, or like an ARP in the background, or just something a little extra in the last drop to give that bigger finale and progression in the track. Something subtle, just something that the listener wouldn't necessarily notice when it came in, but they'd notice if it wasn't there, I would say. So hopefully that helps. And we're moving on. Mini Mailer, are you in the stream right now? Mini Mailer, I believe you are. Let me know if you're still in here, and we can go over your song next. We are 25 away from the free giveaway of the Synthmaster Player, 1,800 presets in this synth. Yours for free if we have 27 more viewers in this stream. Invite your friends, tell them about the awesome feedback they can get, and let's give away this freaking plugin. MIDI crew, you're in the stream. We're going over your track right now.
I don't wanna force the issue. is always new. You paint me an excuse. And every time I see your new face, I'm afraid to even touch base again. Cause you said what we had up in flames. You're still inside my brain, a mess I never made. So is it safe to say that you played it safe when you walked away? Was it too hard to say that you left me here and you're sorry we're not anything anymore? So am I right or wrong for writing this song when it's said and done, but I'm still holding on? Lies.
MIDI crew, thank you so much for sending on in the tune. I appreciate it. I was like looking at myself when I was listening to the track in the live stream, and when I listen to songs, it looks like I'm like puzzled, like I don't know what's going on. I mean, oftentimes when I'm like listening to a song, if I was like standing up like dancing and listening to a song, it would be hard for me to analyze a song. There's like active and passive listening, and I try and combine both of them when I'm listening to your guys' tracks, because it's a different vibe. When you're passively listening to a song, you're just enjoying it. You're not worrying about certain frequencies or the arrangements. You're just vibing out to the song. When you actively listen to it, then I'm really trying to dissect and understand how all the elements are coming together to paint this picture. So I think that's really important when you're listening to songs. There's just not just, you want to listen to it in both ways. When you're analyzing a song, passive and active, because I think that's, you'll get the best analysis of what needs to be done with a song this way. Okay. So we got some good feedback in the track here about the song. I'll definitely go over that here. The reverb is pretty loud and distracting at times. Yes, new MIDI crew, reduce the reverb. Reduce the reverb. I've said this many times in some of your other tracks. I know you love reverb. Reduce it. I can't say that enough. Another thing. I think Phantom Freak mentioned this, that the vocals with the melodies is too much at times, but when the melodies are soloed, they sound good. I just think you need to have... I think sometimes your sections get blurred together a bit. I know you have a breakdown here, you have an intro, but the rest of the sections kind of sound similar.
But I know you that you left me here and you're so like you away right over me here and I'm inside my brain even just anymore.
I think this also has to do with mixing. So I just think, so having the vocals play through more with less instrumentation playing, I think that is what it is. Think you have a lot of elements going together. I think having less elements playing together would work well for this, for arrangement-wise, for mixing-wise, and just for clarity-wise in the song. I mean, so that is mixing clarity, but that's what I think is going on with a lot of your tracks. You have a lot of little melodies in there, a lot of elements, and it just... You don't let the elements that you have express themselves enough. Let's say that. So less elements playing at the same time. Another small thing that I noticed is the percussion. It needs to be widened in the track. The percussion is mono, and it sounds a little weird in the track. So stereo, spread that, pan the percussion that you have in your song. There we go. There we go. So hopefully that feedback helps. I know it takes me it takes me a little bit sometimes to really give the analysis clearly about what I'm saying, because sometimes I'll listen to a song and I'll be like, okay, I know there's 100% something that's not right with this song that should be fixed, but I can't quite put my finger on it in a way that will say specifically what I think could be done to the song. It takes me a little bit sometimes, but we get there. We get there. All right, the Afterglow. Are you in the stream right now? The Afterglow. If you're in the stream, let me know. 2 weeks on Twitch. You still in here? Let me know. We can go over your song. No problem, MIDI crew. Thanks for coming on in again. Do appreciate it. Long time stream goer, MIDI crew. Always good to have you in here with your remixes. All right, 2 weeks on Twitch. Let's get it.
Hideous things come out of the darkness to prowl the tortured earth. Evil hands stretch forth to seize. Evil eyes are watching. Dare you listen to?
I search a while, all in vain, just to find some trace again of your touch. I feel your ghost. I hope you know it was you the most. I fucked up, I know, but if you let me, I can make it glow. But when the ghosts in the hallways hunt me down, I feel the drop, it don't make a sound. If I do, they might sniff me out, and I don't wanna face that right now. Could you save me from my old hearts? Save me. I'm losing my mind out here, thoughts spilling over and they talk in my ear. I'm losing my mind out here. Put me in the street, check it high, not dear. And the ghosts in the hallways hunt me down. I feel the drop, it don't make a sound. If I do, they might sniff me out, and I don't wanna face that right now. Could you save me from my old hearts? Save me. I'm losing my mind out here, thoughts spilling over and they talk in my ear. I'm losing my mind out here. Put me in the street, check it high, not dear. Spirits talk to me, they say don't think too much, but I don't know if I can deal with your love. But when the ghosts in the hallways hunt me down, I feel the drop, it don't make a sound. If I do, they might sniff me out, and I don't wanna face that right now. Could you save me from my old hearts? Save me.
She wanted to do it, Ed, living or dead.
I'm losing my mind out here, thoughts spilling over and they talk in my ear. I'm losing my mind out here. Put me in the street, check it high, not dear. I'm losing my mind out here, thoughts spilling over and they talk in my ear. I'm losing my mind out here. Put me in the street, check it high, not dear.
The Afterglow, thank you so much. 2 weeks on Twitch. Awesome pop track there. Any feedback for 2 weeks on Twitch, go ahead and put that in the chat, and what you liked about the song. So what I liked about the song is I thought the idea was great. All the different melodies, harmonies, the arrangement was solid, interesting from start to finish. The sounds that you used in the track were good also. I like some of the vocal effects that you used. That's what I liked about the track. What I think could be improved is really a large part of the mix. Let's be honest here, a large part of the mix was very unbalanced, and it definitely started with the gain staging. Gain staging is incredibly important. The different volume levels of the specific elements in your song need to be consistent and need to represent each instrument the best they can in the mix, so they shine through in the mix and serve their purpose. And in this song, the gauge staging was way off. The entire song sounds like was not just gain staging. It was also the lack of compression that was used. A lot of the elements were dipping down in volume and raising in volume, and there was no consistency. And this made the song confusing. made it confusing to listen to when you have elements that are going up and down in volumes. The vocals were like that a little bit. I noticed. I think more compression should be used on the vocals, but yeah, overall the gain staging, the compression, and the EQing needs to be done, as well as the depth in the mix. It felt like there was a lack of depth. Depth meaning reverb and delays to create that foreground and background, which helps create a three-dimensional mix. And you have the gain staging, which is the volume, which controls the height of the mix. That's very important for that three-dimensional mix. And of course, the other component being the stereo imaging. The stereo imaging, I don't really. It was a little bit hard to say with the other problems that were happening in the mix. So I put this earlier in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and put that again. I definitely recommend you checking out these tutorials that I have, this playlist. There's a lot of tutorials in there. They cover a lot of important topics that will help with this song. Again, I could go over these right now, but it would take a long time. It'd be a little boring, and I'd probably mess up the presentation of each specific mixing parts because there's so many components to it. And I've already done this in a very clear and coherent way in these tutorials. That's why I made these tutorials so in depth, more so than any other YouTube tutorial on YouTube, so I could show other people in the clearest way possible how specific mixing could be done on a fundamental level. So I guess the things that you do want to worry about are compression, gain stage, and EQing. And definitely depth, but I would worry about those three things first: gain staging, EQing, and compression in this song. Doing those in themselves, just fixing those three areas in your mix will greatly improve the quality of this track. It's just hard to hear some of the ideas that you have in this song because the mixing is all over the place. Like I said, the ideas are there, and that's, in my opinion, one of the hardest parts of music production, is having the idea and the arrangement and coming together of these different sounds, of the idea, to be a whole song and consistent and to sound good. So you have that part done. Again, I think that's the hardest part. No matter how good you are at mixing, if your song doesn't make sense, the musical elements don't work well together, the musical structure doesn't make sense, then it's never going to sound good. So hopefully this helps their 2 weeks on Twitch. I wouldn't worry about mastering. Do not worry about mastering. This track does not need... Okay, here we go. We're going full screen. I was like, you know what? We might not go full screen this live stream, but we're going full screen. I need to drink water for this. Mastering. Don't do it. Don't do mastering. That's it. You should not do mastering. There you go. So, mastering is a completely separate process from mixing, from producing, from everything else. It's completely different. It takes a completely different mindset. And what I have noticed from me working on music in the past, from me trying to master, from getting advice from mastering engineers, from watching other people who master their own songs proficiently, most producers shouldn't master their own tracks. They should worry about making music and mixing their music. Mastering is going to take away from you learning how to produce and mix. And that is the most important part as a music producer. If you want to be a mastering engineer, yes, you have to learn how to master. You should master. You should spend a lot of time on it. If you really want to learn how to master, then I'm not saying that you shouldn't learn how to master. From what I've seen, from all the producers that I've talked to, from all the professionals that I've interviewed, from my personal experience, seeing other people doing mastering, is you should probably not master. You should worry about what's most important, producing. So this is just in general here, 2 weeks on Twitch. This is not a rant specifically at you. I get this question a lot. Everyone is always worried about their master chain and what the fuck am I going to put on it? And their mix is not good, or their production is not good at all, and they're worried about a master chain. Master chain isn't going to fix anything. The master chain is not going to fix the mix. It's not a one-all solution to everything. So I wouldn't master. Don't worry about mastering. Again, it's a separate process. It takes different skill sets, and it takes a lot of experience. A lot. You need to train your ears again to learn how to master, because mastering with EQs, limiters, compressors is a different skill set than multiband compression, EQing on a mix. It's different. I can't stress this enough. I mean, I've recently just started saying to people not to master. And, I've thought about it a lot, and I don't know why I haven't been giving this advice earlier. Just most producers are not ready to learn how to master. They haven't even... If your song isn't sounding professional, I think that you shouldn't even learn how to master. Yet. It's just, you're taking away time from producing and mixing. And these are incredibly time-consuming processes. That is why you got into music production, because you want to produce, right? Not be a mastering engineer. Okay. End of rant. End of rant. I really stand by that, though, guys. Fuck mastering. Like, just don't do it. Like, just don't do it. So, hire someone. Hire someone to do a mix and master. If you can't hire someone to do it, then you can always use, like, Lander. They have, like, their own algorithmic mastering. You can, of course, find mastering for cheap. Like, you don't have to spend a lot of money on mastering. Like I said, you're just going to be spending money on something that you're not going to become proficient at. Or so you're going to spend time on something that you're not going to become proficient at. And it's just going to be okay at mastering. Or just have it sound whatever. Okay. Okay, I'll really stop talking about it now. That needed to be said, though. That really needed to be said. All right. Here we go. I am Fox. Nice, I am Fox. Loving it, man. Always loving the creative tunes. Thank you for sending on in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You almost ran into a fox, Christian, and jumped in front of your car and managed to avoid it. Nice. Just escaped the fox. The fox escaped. Okay. So, any feedback for I Am Fox? Go ahead and put that in the chat. What you liked, what you think could be improved about the song. Wider. You think it could be wider? It's hard to say. It is fairly wide. The track is muddy. And it's hard to exactly hear if you could use more wideness. If it could be wider. I know you always send in work in progress tracks, and it's not, you don't have the mixing fine tuned yet. But I also heard some of your finished tracks. I think overall, your tracks are a little muddy. I think you need to spend more time EQing in general on your tracks. EQing is one of the hardest parts of mixing, in my opinion. It's a really fine balancing act that, when you have all your elements, especially in like the drop playing, you're always going back and forth. It's like trying to solve a puzzle mixing with EQs, because you're always changing something around in one instrument that changes the perception, and in other instruments you have to go into EQ that, and it's like back and forth, keep going. It's a piece of a puzzle. That's what it is. But overall, I think the tracks are a bit muddy. There needs to be more separation in the elements. Each element needs to have its own specific space in the mix, and getting that is through gain staging and through EQing. I think the gain staging is okay in this. Let's see. Oh yeah, the bass specifically felt narrow. Is that what you're talking about? We'll fix it in the mastering. We'll fix it in the mastering. Yeah, that's yeah. What New Pointless said. We'll fix it in the mastering. Let me hear the bass again. I mean, the bass could be wider. It could be narrow. It sounds okay. Like I said, the real thing it's just the muddiness. The separation of the instruments needs to happen a bit more here to really. I think that'll really give a better picture of what needs to be stereo spread more and what needs to be narrower in the mix, if at all. Because I think it's harder to tell right now. I think I rush through the whole process sometimes. A lot of the tracks you've heard over the past few months are all being out on the same EP mix, so I actually still have your notes. Nice. I'm trying to think. What else? I mean, another thing in the track that I think you could have benefited from is a little arrangement tweaks. I think you could have had like more drum fills, maybe more just like pauses in the drop where you add, your vocal. It seemed too continuous. I think you needed to break up sections every 4 bars, every 8 bars. Take out 2 bars of all your instruments and put just like the vocal, put like a drum fill, put like just the bass, put some effects on the bass, put some like synth fill or something like that. I just think it needs a little more interest to it. That's really what I think it needs. But yeah, overall, just I think spending more time on mixing, specifically EQing, would really help your track. Or tracks in general. Yeah, more variation. Yeah, just again to the drops every 4 bars, every 8 bars. Think about that range for adding variation. Nothing to go too crazy on, because the main idea is there. It's good. It's working. Just adding some variation to break up the song a bit. All right, moving on here. Thank you so much, Bradley, for coming on in. I believe this is like the fourth straight time or so. So thank you so much for spending this time with us. DJ Dematic, are you in the stream right now? Damian Brooks, I believe you are. Damian Brooks, D Brooks. I know you were in here earlier. Maybe you're not in here anymore. DJ Dematic, are you in the stream? Calling DJ Dematic. Are you in the stream? DJ Dematic, are you in the stream? Okay, it's not. Moving on. Vayo, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. I know you followed me like an hour ago. Sorry for not giving you a shout out there. If you're still in the stream, thank you so much. Yes, you are. Thank you so much. You're welcome for me raping your ears, Christian. And you are up next, Vayo.
You don't know me, you don't know me, I'ma get the gold, I ain't gonna lose, bitch, cause that was the old me. I've been making moves, I'ma walk up, get that trophy. People talking down, they don't even fucking know me. Yeah, you don't know me. I'ma get the gold, I ain't gonna lose, bitch, cause that was the old me. I've been making moves, I'ma walk up, get that trophy. People talking down, they don't even fucking know me. Yeah, you don't know me. I'ma get the watch with the diamonds on the top. I ain't never gonna stop, bitch, I'm meant to be a star. I just work this like a job, but I'm always on the clock, cause I wanna make them rock. Feel this shit with all their hearts. I said feel this shit. Yeah, they gonna fuck with me once they all know I'm lit. I take that negative energy and get rid of it. That's why I'm made for the industry, I'ma fucking win. Yeah, I'ma fucking win. But I remember days when I cared what they'd say. They talked down on my name because we weren't the same. But now I know the way, I can see the fate. They only hated on me because I'm things they ain't. Yeah, now I see my fate. I'ma rush the gates, I'ma show them what's great like I was Billy Mays. I'ma get the gold, I ain't gonna lose, bitch, cause that was the old me. I've been making moves, I'ma walk up, get that trophy. People talking down, they don't even fucking know me. Yeah, you don't know me. I'ma get the gold, I ain't gonna lose, bitch, cause that was the old me. I've been making moves, I'ma walk up, get that trophy. People talking down, they don't even fucking know me. Yeah, you don't know me. Whoa, whoa, yeah, I'll get the goal. Working every day and I'm working all alone. People see me think that I'm stupid, but they wrong. They gon' be amazed when they listen to my songs. It ain't gon' stop, I'ma keep working and they gonna watch. Hating on me cause I'm something that's hot, something that's not. They gon' be jealous of all that I got. See me on TV with all of the stars. Lily McQueen, now I'm whipping the car. I'ma make it up to the top, cause I really can't believe that I'm not. I got all of these visions in my mind, And I believe in myself, I got this far on my own. I don't need no one else, just you wait till this sells. Then I'm saying farewell, cause I've been going through hell, but soon I'll be living well. I'ma get the gold, I ain't gonna lose, bitch, cause that was the old me. I've been making moves, I'ma walk up, get that trophy. People talking down, they don't even fucking know me. Yeah, you don't know me. I'ma get the gold, I ain't gonna lose, bitch, cause that was the old me. I've been making moves, I'ma walk up, get that trophy. People talking down, they don't even fucking know me. Yeah, you don't know me. And I'm stupid, but they wrong. They gon' be amazed when they listen. They gon' be amazed. I'ma get the gold, I ain't gonna lose, bitch, cause but I'm always on the clock, cause I wanna make them rock. Feel this shit with all their hearts. I said feel this shit. Yeah, they
Nice there, Vayo. Thank you so much for setting on in the tune. So any feedback for Vayo, go to put that in the chat. What you liked, what you think could be improved about this song. So Vayo, you did the vocal mix specifically. You did not do the mixing of the song. You just did the vocal mix and was the vocalist. And you were the vocalist. How's it going, Serial Killer? Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. Let's see. So yeah, overall great vibe to the song. Definitely got that cool little lighthearted, like hip hop vibe to it. Like the little plucks in there with the catchy beats as well as catchy vocals. Those worked really well. So definitely nailed the vibe. The vocal processing, mixing was pretty solid too, in my opinion. You could hear everything clearly. I think it could have been more up front in the mix, though, the vocals. One thing that I think could be improved in the mix was
I'm and I'm working all alone. People see me think that I'm stupid, but they wrong.
The little keys, the down, down, down. I think that they sounded too wide in the mix. I think they could have used more mid-range. Mid-range, I think they could have used another layer to give more power in the mix. And it just sounded like too stereo spread-ish. I think it could have been more narrower in the mix. And I think this would help have your vocals pop out more. So I think your vocals would pop out more if you changed around the mixing of that little pluck sound. Because how do I put this? It felt like a bit too wide, and it felt like it competed a little bit too much with the vocals, as far as just the vocals with hip-hop type tracks. They are more dominating in the mix than other vocals in other genres. You could hear them, they were clear. I think they could have been more aggressive and more up front, the vocals. I think adding in some saturation, some other layers to these vocals, so take the vocal, pitch it down 12 semitones, pitch it up 12 semitones, mix that layer in very subtly, so it's just kind of a layer, copy over your layer, put the saturator on it, put a little distortion on it, mix that in with the vocal. All these small little layers that are playing will really help make the sound more aggressive. I think the vocal needs to be more aggressive. Not necessarily a huge distorted mess aggressive, just slightly more upfront and a little more powerful, carry more impact. So that layering technique of pitched layers as well as distorted layers, saturated layers will help this, but also I think, again, taking down the stereo imaging, it just sounds smushed in the stereo field, just like it's spread across too much. And it sounds a little unnatural, I think, that little pluck, the key pluck sound. I think that'll help have the vocals pop out a bit more, as this super wide sound makes other instruments just kind of washed out in my... I don't know, that's what I'm hearing. So hopefully that makes sense. What else? Okay, cool. Got you. Glad that makes sense. Yeah, but other than that, I mean, the vocal processing was solid. I mean, there was nothing popping out, nothing, you could hear it. I just think it could have been mixed in a little bit more impactful, I would say. Yeah, excellent job on the song. Thank you so much, Vayo, for sticking around and have your song be played. I do appreciate it. We are moving on up. Way of SQ, you are up now.
A man who dares to waste 1 hour of his time has not discovered the value of life. A man I discovered the value of wasted. I like to waste it every fucking day. Wanna stay with my lady, all stargazing. Forget about the issues we facing. Forget about the goals that we chasing. Wasted, I like to waste it every fucking day. Wanna stay with my lady, all stargazing. Forget about the issues we facing. Forget about the goals that we chasing.
Nice, nice. Way of SQ. Thank you so much for sending on in the song. Nice little snippet of the song that you're working on here. So any feedback for Way of SFQ? Way of SQ. Go ahead and put that in the chat. What you liked, what you think could be improved. Thank you, Serial Killer. It is allergy season. The struggles are real over here. New Pointless says it could be fatter. Any suggestions for making the track fatter, New Pointless? What would you change in the mix? I definitely agree that it could be a little bit fatter. The struggle is real for you too, huh, Serial Killer? Spring is the time of allergies. Right, okay. I only ask you that, New Pointless, because I have a definite suggestion that will make the track fatter. I noticed that your bass line was very stereo spread. And I think it was too stereo spread. And I think this took away from the power of your song. Mono equals power. Mono equals power. Mono equals power. That really is the key with getting a powerful mix, is having mono elements, or elements that are very monocentric. So they don't necessarily have to be exactly in mono, they just have a little stereo imaging on them. Those could be considered mono-ish elements as well. If you have stereo spread elements, that really weakens the power of your song. Having the bass line more in mono will make your song more powerful. I guarantee it. Elements like bass line, kick and sub should definitely be mono in your mix. Those are the foundation of your track and should always be mono. I mean, there are some times where you'll have kicks that have some stereo information, maybe the high end, maybe there's a layer that's a high end, but the main meat of your kick should be in mono. That will give the most power and impact in your track. Your subs should always be mono 100% of the time, no exception. Your bass lines definitely will have some stereo imaging on them. Could definitely be in mono. It really is track dependent, but having a bass line that is this wide in the mix definitely will take away from the power, and I think is just definitely too wide. You want your other instruments in your mix to have this sort of wide sound. What else? What else? Good suggestion there, Serial Killer. So, oftentimes, if something in your mix doesn't sound good and it's mono, it could definitely be that, you know, it could benefit from some stereo information. But oftentimes that means that you don't have other elements in your track that are working well to help create contrast in a three-dimensional mix. To help to create that three-dimensional mix. So along with your mono elements, you of course need a stereo spread elements to create a three-dimensional mix and to have them complement each other. If they're just all in mono, they definitely will lack interest and not sound as well as they should. What else here? yes, very simple. Use a utility plugin, can just turn that into mono real quick. Let's see. I think I have one more thing I want to mention.
And forget about the issues we facing. Forget about the goals that we chasing. Wasted, I like to waste it every fucking day. Wanna stay with my lady, all stargazing. Forget about the issues we facing. Forget about the goals that we chasing.
I think like some of the percussion could have been brought up in volume also. You know, with the bass line being stereo spread, it's also causing a little bit of mud. So I'm not sure that like just making the bass line less stereo would let the other elements shine through a bit more. So I don't want to necessarily say just start jacking up volumes of other instruments. If changing just the bass line stereo spreading would help with this. Yeah, so I'll mess around with the bass line, see how that sounds, and see how that changes the perception of the other elements in the mix. But overall, it's a good song. You know, I really like it. I definitely would like to hear more of it. It sounds like you have more of it done. So yeah. Okay, new point. Let's mention that the high end of the percussion is weak. Yeah, like I think overall, yeah, that could be just you need to just boost the volume of the percussion a bit, because the bass line doesn't necessarily have a lot of high end information like the percussion does. So I don't think that changing around the stereo imaging of it will make that big of a difference. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, happy to help out. Hopefully the feedback helps. And we will go on here. Mike Izar, are you still on the stream here? Mike Izar, let me know when we can go over your song right this instant. I think Mike is, I believe, Mike Izar. Calling Mike. All right, he is here. Let's do it. right, nice, Mike Kazar. Any feedback for Mike? Go and put that in the chat. What you liked, what you think have improved about the song. Got some good feedback in here already. So definitely love the vibe you had going in this. Really cool melodies. I thought those worked really well. So that's definitely, you nailed the vibe. Definitely important. Definitely, yeah, mixing, arrangements needs to be improved in this song. So we'll go over a couple points that we had in the chat here. New Pointless says the kick could be stronger in the mix. 100%. There, New Pointless. With electronic tracks, the kick is usually the loudest thing in the mix because it is the driving force of your song. That's why it's the loudest thing in your mix. And having it be low in the mix like that really takes away from the power, energy, rhythm of your song. So definitely just raise up the volume. Serial Killer, thank you for the follow. Really do appreciate it, and appreciate all the help you've given in the chat so far. Also, some of the synths, I think just overall the gain staging. Overall the gain staging needs to be improved, as some of the elements were a bit too loud, some of the synths were too loud, the kick was too low, and it was just causing a little bit of an imbalance, and you weren't able to give your idea the cool vibe that you have in the best way possible. So I think some gain staging will need to be done. I'll go ahead and put a tutorial in the chat for you to check out. Put this in here below. Boom, boom. That is the wrong link. There's a link to the mixing playlist, which is also helpful for you in this track. So definitely check out the first link that I just put there, the YouTube playlist, that has this tutorial that I'm about to put in the chat as well. The gain staging tutorial. Definitely check those out. Check out the playlist. Check out the gain staging tutorial. I think that'll really help improve the mix already. Also, some variation in your track. It was pretty stagnant throughout the entire song. Didn't really have much evolution in the song. The plucks, as we mentioned here, I wasn't the biggest fan of them either. I'm going to keep them in there. I would remove the panning that you have from side to side. It's a little too distracting from the mix. I know it sounds pretty cool in the headphones, just in monitors, but overall that is just, it's distracting in the track. So I would try, I would just remove that panning if you're going to use the plucks in the track. But, you know, I forget who mentioned this, but after the ARP that plays, it feels like there's going to be a new section. That's the natural progression that it feels like it should go into, but it just goes back into the same verse sound. Yeah, there needs to be a new section. There needs to be a new section added, different instruments, just to progress the song. I feel like you're missing a part of the arrangement, like the main section of the arrangement. New Portland says, while this track, I think gain staging can be misleading because you're mixing retro sounds which are already really distorted and fat with modern sounds that might need more distortion, so it's tough to get the right balance between those sounds. I don't have a perfect answer for it. Definitely a good point there. Mixing specific types of sounds together can be a little bit challenging. Yeah, there really is no specific answer for that. There really is no, you should have your kick here, you should have your synths here. I still think, though, using the general guidelines I have in the gain staging tutorial will help get you on a closer way for finding good levels in your track. So just use it as a reference point. Don't necessarily say, okay, well, I'm going to have my kick at this level, my other instrument at this level. Play around with the numbers that I suggested to find the best fit for your particular track. Because, again, this is a little bit different when you have modern sounds and more retro sounds, or just different sounds in general in your mix. So that's why all the specific numbers that I give in the gain staging tutorial are just a reference and just should be used not as definite numbers. Yes, the direction is definitely evident. Yeah, hopefully that feedback helps here, Mike, and thank you so much for sending on in your song. Thank you. All right, Johnny Hardcore, we are up. We are up. We up. You have an MP4 that you sent in. Do you have an MP3? As I'm not able to stream the video here. So you can send me on in a MP3 .wav file. Anything. Oh, there we go. I see you have a SoundCloud link there. All right, here we go, Johnny Hardcore. Thank you so much, Johnny Hardcore, for sending on in your song. Any feedback for Johnny, go ahead and put that in the chat. What you like to think could be improved about the song. So, love the vibe you had going so far. Definitely set the tone for the song. This is definitely a good start to your song. I definitely like to hear more of the song as far as the idea flushed out, because right now this is just kind of like a verse intro to the song. There's no real any change to the song. You just have the do 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 and some drums going, and that's really it in the song. So you need new sections, you need new ideas, you need to flesh out the main chorus of the song, the main theme of the song. So it sounds like an 8-bar loop for the entire 3 minutes. So you need more sections to the song. Like I said, it's definitely a good start. But you need more of a song than just one section, which what it sounds like here. And then as far as the mixing goes, I wouldn't worry about that yet, as you still have to work on the song, finishing it. But yeah, the highs are a bit rough. I definitely agree there, Buffalo Val, specifically with the percussion that you have. If you listen to them. Also, the kick you have in the mix is more like a tap. It's just really buried in the mix, so that takes away from the rhythm as well. The hi-hats definitely reduce in volume. You don't need to have them so loud. So yeah, but yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about the mixing. Yeah, it's really hard to say. I mean, because you still have a lot of production to go with this song. But yeah, as far as continuing with it, definitely continue with it. Definitely has the vibe and ready to blossom into a full song. That was my spring reference of blossoming. Yeah, there. I know, super gay. The rhythm you use on the high end is dope, just needs more solid low end. Yeah, and I definitely think that will help having the kick be louder. That'll add to that more solid low end. Definitely a good start to the song. Thank you so much for setting on in the song, Johnny Hardcore. All right. Joseph Van Eaton, are you on the stream right now? Joseph. Red Rum, are you in the stream? We can go over this song right now. Okay, sweet. Yes, let's do it.
Wheel in my hand with a trunk full of contraband. Swimming underwater like I'm Aquaman. I used to drink gin, now it's vodka, man. Boss dog, it's a baller, no propaganda. Pop your band, don't try and stop the plan. I rock the land, step back and pop your man. Spaced out, caked out, no bugaboo, flipped out, cripped out. Nigga, what it really do? Time brings change, so I changed my name. Trying to take flight while they clipping my wings. Groupie ass niggas see you tripping the game with nothing to gain. Plop, plop, popping out, bang. Plop, popping out, bang, bang. Plop, popping out, bang, bang, bang. 30 days later, I'm back on the streets. Got a batch of bomb beat shit, I'm trying to eat feet to the pavement. Money, I'm craving it. What about the bitches, dog? Are you saving them? Can a blind man see? Can a shark survive out of water for a week? A snitch is a snitch if he softly speak. I don't know near nothing. I'm a product of the beach. To each his own, hard as stone. A lot of y'all niggas bought as hard as phone. Dead wrong, trying to sneak to me get a phone. Step back, nephew, I feel the heat of the chrome. G-Mars, pom-pom, in the heat of my cone. Plate full of shit, nigga, I never eat it alone. Eat it alone, then I put the weed in the bone. Step back at the feet of my throne, motherfucker. Plop, popping out, bang, bang, bang. Plop, popping out, bang, bang, bang. Cinematic, right back at it. Talk the walk and walk out that static. I am the extra dramatic. When he popped back, everybody scattered. Didn't matter. I was there from the get-go. Moving heavyweights, Klitschko. Rookies and cookies from Frisco. Put him in a box, Nabisco. We the funk that killed disco. I showed you how to go and get disco. And I'm the reason why you're fucking with this hoe. But don't thank me, that's how the shit go. It's still banging crypto. From the intro, nigga, what they hitting for? Hold up, who is that trying to come through? Step back, I get mic check 1, 2. Plop, popping out, bang, bang.
Thank you so much, Red Rum, for sending on in the track, Serial Killer. for any feedback for this song. Go ahead and put that in the chat. What you like, what you think can be improved. Got a lot of feedback already, specifically from New Pointless here. Definitely want to go over that. Definitely like the vibe of the song. The Snoop D-O-double-G in the house for this remix. So I think a lot of it was just mixing. A lot of mixing to have your ideas come through a bit better. So a few things I want to mention about the mixing. Let's go over some of New Pointless's points here. The patterns on the bass throw off the rhythm in the first verse. Let's have a listen to that.
Head with a trunk full of contraband, swimming underwater like I'm Aquaman. I used to drink gin, now it's vodka, man. Boss dog is a baller, no propaganda. Pop your band, don't try and stop the plan. I rock the lane.
A little bit, I would say. There are some conflicting rhythms there, I would say, that don't quite flow as smoothly. I would maybe solo your drums, solo the bass, and rework the bass a little bit to have it flow a little bit better rhythmically with the song. Have them interplay off each other. That's really what you want rhythmic elements to do, to interplay off each other, to really complement each other. And I think they could do that a little bit better. What else? Let's see. Why do you think the percussion isn't driving the song forward, New Pointless? What do you think could be changed about it? Buffalo Val also says the percussion tops was great. Kicking groove seemed stagnant. Okay, because the kick is too infrequent in parts. Okay, I got you. Definitely, if you're missing the kick, your driving force of your song in certain parts, I can definitely see that. Well, yeah, of course, in the breakdown, you definitely don't want to have the kick there, which is fine. But yeah, in the beginning and the middle of the verses, that's where you could add more kick. But in the drop here,
And I rock the land, step back and pop them groupie ass bomb beat shit I'm trying to eat. I showed you how to go and get this out.
there's not really much of an energy change when you hit the drop. Let's see. I think you mentioned this earlier. Mid-range could be added to this song, specifically in the drop. It's missing a lot of mid-range to add that power and weight. So adding another layer to that bass line would really help get the track fuller. Also, the stereo imaging of certain elements in your track could be improved. I think this has the same issue as the other track that we were commenting on, with the bass line being too wide. I noticed that you have a lot of the synths, like the synth stabs. They're really monocentric, and your bass line is really wide. I think it would sound more three-dimensional and more impactful if they were switched. Have the synth stabs be wide. Higher frequencies benefit more from being stereo spread than lower end frequencies. Although the bass line you have here is a little bit in the higher end, but definitely not as high end as a saw stab. So higher frequencies would be better served as spread. Also, when you stereo spread rhythmic elements a lot, that also takes away from them as far as having that groove and rhythm. So having the bass line a little bit more monocentric, having the synth stabs be more stereo, I think would help add power and rhythm to the song. Also have it sound a bit fuller, as the synth stab is a saw wave. Saw waves have the most amount of frequencies out of all other synthesizer waves. They're very frequency rich, and it would fill out the track a bit better instead of having them be more condensed and narrow in the track. So yeah, I think just adding another layer to the bass line. A saw wave would work fine. Have a plain saw wave that is high cut. You'll have to blend it in with the bass line that you already have, playing the same MIDI notes. Could work on a sustained bass line also, but I would try working with the same MIDI of the bass line that you already have, and just having a saw wave and high cutting it a bit to take out some of the high frequencies so it doesn't interfere with the main character layer that is already playing. I think that will help add power to the mix. What else? That was one of the main things that I think really could have helped beefed up the song a bit, and really made the drop more impactful, which is really important as it is, the main theme of your song, the drop. What else?
30 days later, I'm back on the streets. Got a batch of bomb beat shit I'm trying to eat. Fit to the heat of the chrome. G Mars, pom in the heat of Macomb.
I think maybe adding in more variation to your drums as well, maybe adding in certain percussion, drum fills, that sort of thing, some smaller transition effects, maybe every 4 bars, every 8 bars in the drop, maybe highlight a certain instrument, a drum fill, Snoop Dogg rapping, just something to give a little more interest and break up the different sections. I think that could really help with the song. So hopefully that feedback helped there, Serial Killer. I mean, mid-range is always an issue. I still run into that problem too, where I don't have enough mid-range. It's definitely a fine balancing act, but mid-range, of course, the low end, the sub-frequencies do provide a foundation for your song, but the mid-range is what adds power to your song as well. It's not just the sub that provides the power. Mid-range really fills out your song. So just keep that in mind. Always layering your sounds to accomplish a certain frequency content goal to fill out your track. Always keep that in mind. Yes, it is also a lot of the emotion as well. Very good point. Very good point there. New Pointless. So that's actually going to do it for this week's live stream, everyone. I want to thank you all for joining. Do appreciate it. Unfortunately, we did not hit the concurrent viewers of 47 to do the free giveaway of the Synthmaster player. We will have a chance next week, though, as I am running the live stream every Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. GMT. That is, again, every Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. GMT. Again, I want to thank you all for joining, everyone for sticking around. Do appreciate it. Hope you at least got one tip that you can use in your productions after watching this live stream. Apricot, Droop Fruit, Buffalo Valve, Serial Killer, Commander Root, Electric Longboard, Feuerwehr, Gretchen, Dutcher, Joe, Jodja, 1337, John Noise, Lurks, New Pointless, Polizy, Triple More, VNK, Virgo Pros, Christian Does. I know I butchered some of your guys' names. I do apologize. But thank you all so much for joining. A lot of returning members, as well as some new faces. I do appreciate it. Appreciate all the follows that you guys have given, and for the returning visitors on the stream. I hope, again, this has been helpful for you. If you need to get in contact with me for any reason at all, you have any music production questions, any questions about the Twitch stream, or SoundShock Audio in general, you can always contact me at daniel@soundshockaaudio.com, the same email that you use to send in your track. Or you can send me a message on any of the SoundShock social media, and I'd be happy to talk with you guys. Again, any music production questions on the stream or on SoundShock Audio. My pleasure, Christian. Always happy to run this live stream. Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to run the giveaway next week. Again, let all your friends know about the live stream, the live track feedback stream, the feedback that they can get on their music. And if you did not, or if you want to review any of the tracks that we went over, you just want to review the live stream in general, you can always view the previous live stream on the SoundShock Audio Twitch channel. Just hit the videos tab in Twitch on the SoundShock Audio Twitch channel. Or you can go on over to YouTube. I upload the videos usually Saturday or Sunday of the week's live stream. All the live streams are up there. You can view them. They're in a playlist, and you can just view them that way as well, and they'll always be there for you to check out and review. And if you missed anything, just want to just listen, see other live track feedback streams. Every feedback stream, I try and give different types of tips and just hit as many different parts of the production process as possible. So throughout these live streams, I'm trying to give away all the information that I know about mixing, producing, everything music production related in a helpful way. So again, just because you don't have your song being played or your song isn't being played currently, doesn't mean that I don't give away tips that could be helpful to you in your productions. So there's definitely a lot of gems in previous live streams. I guarantee that. There's one thing that you could check for in the live streams. It's when I go into full screen mode. Full screen mode is usually where I talk about specific general production things. I'm going to get pretty specific, but I talk about a specific topic. So if you want to go, when I go full screen, if you ever see that in a live stream, that's where I go over in depth about specific topics, and you'll want to check that out if you just want to look for quick tips, that is. But thank you again all for joining. Again, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. GMT is when I'll be running the live stream. We'll be doing the giveaway of the Synth Master Player next week as well. So again, invite all your friends. Let them know about the live stream. And I'll see you all next week. Have a good weekend, everyone.